Discover the 4 secrets of those who are greatly blessed and how they differ from you. Introduction. Do you have few friends? Could this be a blessing? Have you ever noticed that the circle of people close to you seems to shrink over time? It's not because you have changed, but because your heart has grown still as you take the first steps toward awakening. The ancients taught that the clearer the water, the fewer the fish, the wiser the person, the fewer the words. When someone lives virtuously and cultivates the mind, they naturally distance themselves from noise and gossip. They are not lonely, but are choosing connections that truly matter. A person with great blessings does not need the buzz of large gatherings to feel secure. Though it may seem paradoxical, beneath that stillness lies a depth of insight honed over countless lives of experience and trials. One who is truly blessed is not isolated, but discriminating in relationships, preserving inner tranquility amid worldly clamor. They do not rush to befriend everyone or hastily share their thoughts, not out of pride, but out of respect for their own peace. Their steadiness does not depend on the crowd, but on the serenity they feel even when alone. They project an aura of calm that commands respect not because they speak often, but because they live deeply. They move deliberately, opening their hearts cautiously and placing trust sparingly. They safeguard each bond with care, neither forming ties out of loneliness nor forcing closeness out of convenience. To them, human connections are like dewdrops at dawn, pure and fragile. They welcome them when they arise and let them go when they fade. They do not cling or coerce, for they understand that the value of life lies not in the number of relationships, but in genuine empathy and understanding. Broad social circles do not guarantee true support. Many people gather and then drift apart like water plants. Only the right person, at the right moment, with genuine resonance, can stir something profound within. A blessed individual does not crave raucous laughter all around, but a few kindred spirits who can truly listen and empathize. They live deeply rather than widely. They are not aloof, but they refuse to feign warmth for those whose hearts are not sincere. Within the silence, they nourish a kind and peaceful inner world. There they plant seeds of understanding, compassion, and equanimity. Free from dependence on empty chatter, they devote their time to deeper pursuits, reading a passage of sacred text, observing the breath, or simply sitting in stillness, listening to the wind through the leaves. In that quietude, they hear what the hurried world misses, the gentle teachings of the universe spoken without words. A truly blessed person lives in harmony with nature, never forcing themselves into situations that disturb the heart. They are ready to help and share, yet they do not conform to others' expectations merely to be accepted. Their gaze carries a profound serenity that both inspires reverence and stirs self-reflection. They are like a silent mirror, never judging, yet illuminating everything in the beholder's heart. Those who lack awareness feel unsettled before such quiet clarity, not because they are condemned, but because their own shortcomings are revealed in the stillness. The more they cultivate virtue and inner depth, the lighter their steps become, drawing them away from noisy crowds where their true self is lost. They no longer feel compelled to attend every social event or to speak when there is nothing authentic to say. As their heart purifies, only those with genuine depth remain by their side, not out of loss, but as a silent cleansing after the rain. When one's heart is sufficiently clear, the companions who remain must also be genuine, profound, and gentle enough not to disturb that peace. Those blessed with virtue are not accustomed to living amid noisy crowds, not because they have been forgotten, but because they keep only those who truly bring them ease. They need no many words to feel understood, nor a multitude to feel complete. They cherish the quiet presence of a soul at peace. Sitting beside them requires no comfort, no explanation, only being there at the right moment. In life, there are countless greetings and promises. Many join together in sunny days, yet so few remain when the skies grow gray. When one's heart is weary, the companion need not be accomplished, only genuine and unwilling to leave too soon. Those blessed with virtue do not long for a crowd, for they understand that sincere presence is always more precious than any clamorous uproar. They do not mourn when only a few close ones remain. Rather, they feel relief at having preserved true connections at last. That thinning does not leave them feeling empty, but grants their mind greater tranquility and clarifies their relationships. A person who sincerely cultivates themselves no longer pays heed to empty praise or superficial gatherings. The sound of applause no longer stirs them, and praise no longer drives them to prove themselves. Most importantly, they refuse to force themselves into relationships that would cost the peace they have labored to preserve. The value of friendship lies not in number, but in quality. Quality over quantity, seeking the soul's depth. Those whose souls have deepened through experience disdain idle words. They have no taste for conversations meant merely to assert who is right, nor interest in petty gossip disguised as honest feedback. The ancients taught that a blessed heart is often awake. Those who have accumulated abundant virtue tend to have few friends, not out of isolation, but because they do not easily accept the false as kin. They do not judge, do not conform merely to please, nor wield sharpness to wound others. Before scandal and strife, they choose silence, not out of weakness, but because they know that some words, once spoken, are like tearing apart one's own fortune. They do not sow ill will, do not inflict suffering with their words, and do not use their gaze to make another feel small in a noisy world. In a place where blunt speech is seen as a measure of character, patience is often undervalued. Yet only when true storms arrive, when one's heart churns like late winter clouds, does one see who can remain calm without panic, who can keep their center amid rising flames. True strength does not lie in a loud voice, but in the ability to keep one's heart from shattering when hurt, to keep one's mind unclouded amid chaos. Only those with deep roots in their being remain unshaken when old wounds are reopened, who do not react hastily to a slight, and who possess the compassion to move on without leaving new scars. Thus those blessed with virtue are neither quick to befriend nor easy to approach. They do not open their hearts at the first pleasing word, nor grant trust to anyone who merely seems to understand. But once someone enters their heart, they remain as faithful as roots deep in the earth, offering silent support without needing acknowledgement. Once they decide to help, they see it through. Once they choose to love, they do so with all compassion, without keeping score or expecting anything in return. They do not bind anyone with pleas or trap them with expectations, nor use emotions to force another to stay. They understand that those meant to meet will find their way, and those meant to leave will eventually depart. When fate is ripe, bonds form. When it fades, they dissolve. No compulsion, no resentment for those who turn away. They simply cherish the connections that remain and keep their own hearts as still as an undisturbed lake. The gentler and more silently one nurtures the inner life. The fewer clashes one encounters, and the more one lets go of competition. The heart grows as light as a thin cloud drifting over a mountain peak, no longer pulled by the noise below. Instead of living to please the world, they live without shame before themselves, a life of peace, a gaze free from prejudice, a heart unruffled by praise or blame. So do not measure a person by the number of friends they keep. Those by your side are not necessarily those who love you most. If in this life there is someone willing to sit with you when your heart is weary, someone who can help you maintain clarity in murky times, then that alone is the precious gift life offers to those who know how to live with sincerity. Those blessed with virtue are like a silent candle burning through the night, not as dazzling as fireworks, nor drawing the gaze of a crowd, yet bright enough to guide the lost home. They move through life quietly, no fanfare, no showmanship, no need for acknowledgement or gratitude. Because of this, they keep few companions. Most are drawn to blinding lights, and few pause long enough to recognize the beauty of silent stillness. The more they cultivate goodness, the more they grasp a simple truth. Not everyone has the affinity to understand their heart. Some travel only part of the road before turning away. Others linger just long enough to teach a lesson before vanishing forever. If every parting leaves a wound, there is no room left for peace to settle. A truly virtuous person is not cold or unfeeling. They have loved sincerely, suffered deeply, and sat alone amidst unseen scars. Yet, through all the inner storms, they learn to release what isn't theirs without regret. They do not resent those who failed to understand them, nor dwell on past misunderstandings. Instead, they offer silent gratitude, for those very trials help them learn to listen more deeply to their own inner voice. Sign of the blessed. Few friends. A mark of inner abundance. Few friends indicate a heart already full. At life's many crossroads, some choose noise, others tranquility, but only those who truly know themselves remain steady on their own path. Even if no one walks beside them, they feel no imbalance. As the ancients taught, when the path is right, the heart is at peace. When the mind is aligned, the way is clear. The blessed need not dwell in festivity. They simply need to live on the right road. They understand when to stop so as not to stray further, and when to let go to preserve inner calm. They discern genuine value from mere illusions. Few in number, but never empty in spirit. Few in words, but never cold at heart. They do not appear in noisy gatherings, nor seek to be remembered. Yet when they arrive, their presence is like a guiding lantern in the dark, enough to help others find their way. They are truly virtuous, as silent as the earth's foundation, as unmoving as a mountain, as all-embracing as the sky without uttering a word. In that stillness, they become like a great tree deep within the forest, not trumpeting their stature, nor vying for attention, but quietly rooting themselves, embracing rain and sun, weathering storms without needing shelter. As they live, they realize that what matters most is neither fame nor numbers, but virtue and heart. These two companions follow them not just through one lifetime, but become their luggage for countless lives ahead. They understand that the more one chases, the more it slips away. Friendship is the same. If kept only by advantage, social courtesy, or fear of loneliness, it will sooner or later become a burden. A truly virtuous person needs no multitude to prove anything to the world. They do not measure self-worth by invitations received, groups joined, or daily messages. For them, genuine connection arises not from numbers, but from depth. They prize one soul who truly understands over 100 who know only their name through idle chatter. Strangely, it is that very peace of mind that quietly attracts like-minded souls. These people neither burst in noisily nor depart hastily. A bond born of awareness always grows deeper and more enduring than those formed amid clamor. The blessed often meet the blessed, not by chance, but because of the subtle energy they emit. The purer the heart, the kinder the encounters, the more resolute the seeker, the less they waver. The gentler their way of life, the clearer their relationships. The sincere remain, the insincere drift away, without force. And because they dwell at this level, they no longer crave understanding. They realize that longing to be understood is the ego's desire, whereas willing to listen and understand others marks a true inner shift on the path of cultivation. Thus, they seldom blame, never complain, and have no urge to explain themselves. They release burdensome emotions, learn to live lightly with pride, and find joy in others' peace. When the heart is still, nothing feels lacking, even friends. Therefore, the blessed do not choose silent lives out of loneliness, but because they carry a secret fullness within. They live not to draw eyes, nor to seek attention or reliance. They aim instead to sow seeds of goodness wherever they go and to hold a steadfast truth to light their way. In their gaze there is no haste, no craving for recognition, only a gentle calm born of weathering countless storms and knowing that only a resolute heart can remain unshaken amid life's ever-shifting currents. Life lesson: to be blessed, live by cause and effect. Judgmental glances or worldly praise and criticism, they do not live to please others, nor need anyone to validate their worth. The only thing they hold fast is a benevolent vow and a life guided by conscience. The ancients taught, help others without keeping track, do good without expecting repayment. Those blessed with virtue walk according to the law of cause and effect, quietly sowing seeds of kindness without calculating gain or loss. They help from pure sincerity, not in hope of reward. They perform good deeds not to be celebrated, but because without them their hearts cannot find peace. And because they expect nothing in return, their hearts feel no sorrow when they stand alone. They are neither lonely nor wounded, for they understand, living true to one's own heart is already abundance. They resemble the vast sky, silently sheltering all beings from sun and rain without demanding gratitude for their silent compassion. Thus you will see them choose silence in heated debates, smile at harsh words, and remain composed when former intimates turn away, not because they feel no pain, but because they know that every meeting and parting flows from karma. Those who come bring blessings, those who leave have simply repaid their debt. Those who love are good fortune, those who hate present opportunities to refine the mind. Living with this outlook, their hearts are free of attachment and resentment. That is the deeper reason they are called blessed. And because of that serenity, they do not fit into fleeting entertainments or relationships that arrive and depart like a breeze. In a world bustling with noise and glitter, those who choose to live with depth, authenticity, and awareness are rare, but this does not make them lonely, for they always have a companion greater than any other, themselves. When someone can keep a pure heart amid life's turmoil, preserve inner peace amid countless distortions, and uphold integrity amid silent temptations, they have become their own most faithful friend. If another soul, by some fortunate affinity, comes close to such a person, then that bond is not just companionship but a rare kindred spirit on the path of inner cultivation in this dusty world. The truly virtuous do not scramble or struggle in life's twisted currents. Because of this, people often mistake their calm for resignation or weakness. In truth, they understand the laws of heaven and earth. What belongs to you, no matter how late, will return home. As long as you keep your mind upright and your heart undistorted, everything will fall into place in the most perfect way. They need not vie for every small advantage, nor let their minds remain busy with petty contests. They trust in karma as an inevitable truth, believing that every seed of goodness sown, though unseen, germinates quietly and awaits its ripening. Somewhere in the silent flow of time, it is this steady faith that lets them meet all gossip and judgment with equanimity. Whether praised or criticized, they offer no defense, for they know time itself will answer for them. Such a life brings ever-deepening tranquility. And because they live this way, their circle of friends naturally grows smaller, not out of seclusion, but because few have the courage to slow their pace in an age of haste. Few can look unflinchingly into themselves. And even fewer can accompany someone who lives not for outward appearances. Those blessed with virtue do not cling to anyone who wishes to leave. They let go gently, as a leaf returns to its root or a breeze passes by without carrying any sorrow. They do not grasp, nor call someone back, for they know that any affection forced to persist becomes a burden that wears away day by day. All reluctant clinging eventually turns to the shards of unfulfilled expectation. Better to preserve a peaceful heart than to clutch onto a relationship that has run dry, where sincerity slowly withers beneath a thin veneer of pretense and exhaustion. In their quietest moments, they learn to become their own most loyal and understanding friend, listening to the silent sorrows that flow within, healing their wounds with patience and compassion. They seek no support in others, instead rooting themselves in mindfulness, grounding themselves in moral integrity, and lighting their way with compassion. Living thus, they pass through life's years with quiet dignity, no show, no fanfare. Yet those fortunate enough to touch the depth of their souls will never forget the steady stillness they carry. Blessing arises from simplicity, no contention, no ostentation, no dependence on others. Cultivate yourself by refusing to compete, refusing to parade for attention. Living quietly is not exclusion. It is the wisdom of one who has witnessed enough noise to know what truly deserves a place in the heart. As the ancients taught, to preserve integrity of spirit amid life's tilting currents, that is profound blessing. Virtue does not make one cold, but helps one recognize what is truly worth opening one's heart to. A blessed person lives by principles and standards, rooted in integrity and reflected in their conduct toward others. They do not follow the crowd, nor allow personal feelings to compromise what is right. This may sometimes be mistaken for aloofness or distance, but it is actually profound respect. No interference, no pretense, no self-deception just to please someone else. In their eyes shines the light of an inner self tempered by trials, losses, and countless moments when they chose silence over argument, patience over reaction. A person with virtue is not lonely. They simply choose a quiet path for a season to keep their spirit untainted. They understand that stillness can be the safest refuge for a heart in the workshop of self-cultivation. When the right conditions converge, quiet friends emerge, people who are not loud or verbose, yet sincere in sharing, perceptive in understanding without needing words. Thus, having few friends is not a loss but a sign of an inner world already full and steadfast. Once the heart holds its own light, one no longer needs the crowd to validate one's worth. Those blessed with virtue often live more slowly than others, not out of laziness or indifference, but because they refuse to chase what brings no real peace. While many rush to find joy in bustling crowds, they discover contentment in the simplest things: a humble meal, a morning meditation, or simply sitting quietly watching clouds drift across the sky. That joy is neither loud nor spectacular, yet enduring. It is not fleeting applause or praise, but deep like an underground stream, nurturing a resilient inner life. Because they live at a gentler pace, They have difficulty fitting into the frantic rhythm outside. Those accustomed to haste, chatter, and show seldom linger long by their side. Not because the virtuous wish to appear different or superior, but because their serene presence reflects one's own unexamined areas back to them, and not everyone is ready to face their own incompleteness. A person of virtue stands like an ancient tree in the world, not rushing to bloom for admiration, not needing brilliance to earn praise, but quietly planting roots deep in fertile, enduring soil. It is this silence that fosters inner strength enough to shelter the spirit through every season of change. So if one day you find that few still call you friend, do not rush to sorrow or feel adrift in this vast life. Look inward. Perhaps this is the first step on the path of virtue, the path of awakening. The deeper you go, the fewer companions you keep, but precisely because they are few, they are precious. Because they are rare, they run deep enough to be true soulmates on the journey of inner growth. Therefore, if at times you feel you have few friends, few who understand, few who stand close, do not be quick to pain. Reflect on your own heart. If you live kindly, harm no one, and harbor no ulterior motives, you are likely walking the path chosen by the virtuous. It is a quiet road, little traveled yet brilliantly illuminated from within. And as you continue, you will realize you need not a multitude around you. As long as your own heart shines, even solitary in the world, you are complete. Thank you for accompanying me until the end. Conclusion. Affirming the value and good fortune of those who have few friends, as the ancients taught. There are moments in life when we suddenly realize, the more mature we become, the sparser our circle of friends grows. Yet this is not loneliness, but a natural refinement when the inner self gains enough depth not to cling to relationships that no longer fit. Have you ever felt a lightness upon leaving a gathering that no longer served you? Or gratitude for sitting alone in stillness without feeling emptiness? Share that experience in the comments. Your words may touch someone else learning to live fully from within. If you find value in this video, feel free to share it with cherished friends as a gift of understanding and peace. And don't forget to subscribe to the Try Tuesday 10 Hoa channel. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of these deep ancestral teachings. The Chosen Blessings playlist, made just for your special journey, awaits. See you in the next video.